How you doing, everybody? Funky Cole Medina DIY back again with another video. This is going to be the cooking portion of my channel, another passion of mine. I love to cook. I love to make people happy through my cooking. Today we're going to make Vietnamese sandwiches. These are the ingredients that we're going to use for the marinade for the chicken thighs. We're going to use some fish sauce, soy sauce, mayonnaise, a lime, 9 cloves of garlic. I know I don't have 9 here, I have 3, but I'm going to get some more later on. And this is optional, but I'm going to use this in my recipe, some Sriracha sauce. And I'm also going to use 3 pounds of chicken thighs. The chicken thighs tend to retain their moisture and don't dry out as fast compared to the chicken breasts. And also when it's time to eat leftovers, the chicken thighs retain their juiciness when you heat them up in the microwave. So let me get these ingredients together. We're going to mix them in a bowl, pour it in a bag, and put our chicken thighs in the bag so we can marinate our chicken thighs. That's good right there. And put that in the bowl. All right, next ingredient we're going to use is soy sauce. We're going to do 6 tablespoons. A lot of times these soy sauce, it comes with this plastic cap here to reduce the flow. That way you don't use as much as you need. And you can just pop this off with your nail. And we're going to do 6 tablespoons. 6. Next ingredient we're going to do is fish sauce. Try not to get this on your hands. It does smell, definitely like fish. So if it gets on your hands, your hands are going to soak up that scent of the fish, and it's going to stay on there for a little while. If you do get some on your hands, just wash off with soap and water. You probably even do some vinegar to kind of neutralize the scent. But we're going to do 6 tablespoons. All right, next ingredient, we're going to do the mayo. We're going to do 3 tablespoons. This one I'm not going to measure out. I'm just going to eyeball it. So that's 1, 2, 3. All right, next ingredient we're going to use is sugar. I forgot to put this in the beginning of the video. I'll label it in the description and in the beginning of the video as a missed ingredient, but you can also use some sugar, 3 tablespoons. So that's about a tablespoon there, 2 and 3. All right, next ingredient, we're gonna do some lime zest. I already washed the lime. Get yourself a lime zester. Be careful with it, it is sharp. And we're just gonna take off the green part. Once you get further down into the white part, that's a little bit bitter, so you definitely don't want that in your food. You're just taking off the green part. Any remaining zest, just put that into the bowl. And actually what I'll do, I'll just throw in maybe half a lime. The way I cook, I just cook the way I feel. If I feel like I need to add something at the last minute, then that's what I'll add. So I'm in the mood for some lime, so let's do some lime. All right, this last ingredient is optional. You can do Sriracha sauce. I'll probably do 3 tablespoons since we have 3 pounds of meat. So if you only had 1 pound of meat, just 1 teaspoon. But I'm gonna do 3, and maybe a little bit more for extra. Go ahead and get your whisk. Go ahead and whisk this up. All right, once you got everything mixed up, get yourself a gallon-sized Ziploc bag and just pour that in. You can do this in a bowl or a dish if you don't have a bag, just deep enough where the chicken will fit. But I prefer the bag because the marinade spreads evenly all over your chicken or whatever you're marinating. So whenever you're getting your chicken together, I would highly recommend using a separate cutting board for raw meat. Don't use your regular cutting board you use for your cooked foods, just due to the fact that the chicken and the raw juices will soak into your other cutting board. Say if you have a wooden cutting board, it'll definitely soak into that and it will create bacteria, it'll create a bad smell. So use a separate one. This one's like a plastic one, so this is what I'll use for raw meat. Okay, we're gonna get our chicken thighs. We're gonna go ahead and prep them. I like to cut off any kind of excess fat. And maybe this here. Just kind of clean it up a little bit. Doesn't have to be perfect. I'm just gonna clean it up. There's still plenty of fat on the chicken thigh. Chicken thighs are naturally fatty meat because they stay so, and that's why they stay so juicy. All right, we got our chicken thighs trimmed, ready to go to put in our marinade. Let's go ahead and transfer those over. Always wash your hands when you're dealing with raw chicken. You don't want to run the risk of spreading some salmonella around and get people food poisoning. So always wash your hands, soap and water whenever you're going to touch something else that you don't want to have contaminated. So we got that sealed up. And once you got it in the bag, you got most of the air out. Just give it a quick toss. All right, we're gonna go ahead and put this in the refrigerator. Before you put it in the refrigerator, always have yourself a backup, a secondary containment. Put that in there just in case the bag leaks. It's not gonna go all over your refrigerator and create a big mess, and then now you gotta spend more time cleaning that. If you're stretched for time, you can do probably just 30 minutes. But the longer the better. If you can do it overnight, that's great, but I'm probably gonna do mine for maybe about 4 hours. Here's all the ingredients for the Vietnamese sandwiches as far as the vegetables go. Got a couple of carrots, a cucumber, this is called Daikon, avocado, rice vinegar, half a cup of sugar, and half a cup of water. I would also recommend getting a mason jar. We're gonna cut all these vegetables up and put them in here. To make things a little easier, I'm going to use a mandolin to cut up the vegetables in a julienne style. It's a real thin strip. I'll show you how to use this, but you can also cut up the vegetables without this particular tool. So we're gonna cut the carrots here. We're gonna cut the top off, cut the bottom. And for the daikon, you might not use all of this. You can probably just maybe use half. Same for the cucumber. Cut both ends off. All right, now we're gonna use the mandolin. So we're gonna do the daikon first, and this is the little tool that comes with it. That way you don't cut your finger. It has these little prongs in here that you can stick into your vegetable, whatever it is that you're gonna cut. And then what you do, you put it right here on the flat surface, and then you're gonna go forward and backward. Good right there. And that's what we have here. 1/8" slices julienne of daikon. All right, here we got our carrots. We'll do some more carrots. These are pretty thin. That's pretty good. Just go really slow if you're not going to use the little safety cap. Oh yeah, that's perfect. Excellent. We got our jar. We are going to go ahead and put the liquids in first. So we got a half a cup of water. We're going to do a half a cup of rice vinegar. And it doesn't have to be exact. You actually may need a little bit more. But we'll test it out. We'll see once we put all the vegetables in there. And we got a half a cup of sugar. And also I forgot to mention 2 teaspoons of salt. So that's about a teaspoon, another teaspoon. And I'll put all the ingredients in the description for you, okay? Go ahead and put the cap on, nice and tight, and give it a shake. And if you like your vegetables a little spicy, you can add some jalapenos. You probably can add a garlic clove if you want to. I'm gonna go ahead and do that right now. I'll put one in there. That's good enough. And you can start putting your vegetables in there. I like to mix it up. So we'll see where our liquid is at. Our liquid is almost to the top. So we'll put a little bit more water in there and a little bit of rice vinegar. And just put your lid on it. Nice and tight. I would give it another shake. Sometimes the sugar and the salt and stuff kind of collect on the bottom. All right, now leave that in your refrigerator. When you're ready to cook, it'll be ready. Probably leave it in there maybe at least maybe 30 minutes to an hour if you're rushing. But I'm gonna leave it in there for maybe at least 2 hours. All right, guys, these are the ingredients that we're gonna use for the sauce that I use for the Vietnamese sandwiches. We got sour cream, chipotle sauce, mayo, and some lime. And you can also use some salt with it as well to taste. So we'll do about 1/4 cup of mayo. Next ingredient is sour cream. We're gonna do about the same amount, about 1/4 cup. All right, next thing we're gonna use is the chipotle sauce with the chipotles in it. If you get some whole chipotles in there, just kind of cut them up with a knife. So we'll probably just do maybe a tablespoon, a little less than a tablespoon. And we'll get a half of a lime and a little bit of salt, maybe half a teaspoon. And then we'll just mix all that up. All right, we're gonna go ahead and cover this up, put it in the refrigerator, and take it out when we're ready to eat. All right, guys, before we eat, I like to add 2 toppings to them, to the Vietnamese sandwiches: cilantro and jalapenos. It's up to you if you want to like strip the cilantro leaves off. That way you don't have to bite into these real thick stems. Sometimes they can be a little tough, but we will slice up the jalapenos. And you can cut these up however you want to. You can just do little strips like that. All right, and what you can do, if you don't want the spiciness, you can take the ribs out, which is this white part, and the seeds. You can get yourself a spoon and then just kind of scoop it up just like that. And we used here about half of a bunch of cilantro. and about, I think it was about 5 or 6 real small jalapenos. And if you go to the store and get the big ones, then you can probably just get away with maybe 2 or 3. All right, guys, we're gonna put everything that we made, the chicken and all the vegetables, inside this type of bread. They're called Bolillos, so you can get this from pretty much any store. They sell them by the bakery, big old tubs. These were like 8 for $1. They're pretty inexpensive, they're really good, and that's what we're gonna use for these Vietnamese sandwiches. All right, guys, it's time to put the heat to the meat. You leave your hand about a foot above the grate for about 4 seconds, and then you have to take it off after 4 seconds, and it's hot enough. All right, so go ahead and get your chickens and just put them right on the grates. You don't have to oil the grates or anything. All right, that's it for the chicken. I'm going ahead and put this in the trash. We'll let these cook for maybe about 2 minutes, and then I'll check on them. Close the lid, and we'll be right back. Okay, guys, it's been about 3 minutes. Let's go ahead and check on the chicken thighs. So we'll go ahead and let those cook for about maybe another 2 minutes, and we'll check on them again. All right, let's go ahead and check on the chicken thighs again. It's been about a couple minutes. All right, looking good. We'll flip that one over. That one looks really good. Look at those marks right there. So we'll let these cook for another 1 to 2 minutes, and then we'll check the temperature on them. Let's check the chicken one last time. This one's good, 178. So if you do 180, and you know it's going to continue to rise, so then you're going to start to risk to overcook it. So I would say 178, 179, you're fine. All right, so now the chicken's done. Let's go ahead and put it in our container, and we'll let this rest for about maybe 3 minutes, 5 minutes at the most. It doesn't take long. Let's go ahead and put these sandwiches together. This is a bread knife, perfect for cutting bread, obviously, but be careful to go all the way through. Just nice, soft sewing motion. Okay, guys, let's go ahead and put the sandwich together. First thing we're gonna do is put our chipotle sauce on each side of the bread. Put a generous amount. Don't be shy. Okay, next thing you're gonna do, you're gonna put your chicken that you've cut up. Next thing you're gonna do is put your marinated vegetables on there, as little or as much as you want. Next thing you do is put your cilantro. And next, if you want a little heat, put your jalapenos. And there you go, guys. This one has the avocado. You can have the avocado or not. This one doesn't. And that's how you make a Vietnamese sandwich. Thank you for watching the video. If you like what you're seeing, please subscribe. Smash that like button. And more videos like this will be coming in the future. Y'all have a great day, guys.